Today we have a Midwestern staple, the lesser known and true Chicago-style pizza. No. We're not talking about pizza casserole here, otherwise known as deep dish. I kid, although I do enjoy a slice of deep dish from time to time. Today, we're showing you all how to make Chicago thin crust pizza, otherwise known as pub style or tavern style, or if you live in the Midwest, it's just pizza. This pizza is square cut. And we're trying today to pay homage to Vito and Nick's in Chicago, who have been around for more than 100 years. This pizza has stood the test of time and will beat any chain pizza that you could eat. Stick around, because you have to try this one. This is a Kenji Lopez recipe for Chicago thin pizza dough. This recipe makes 3 14-inch pizzas. In a stand mixer or bowl, add 450 grams of bread flour, I like King Arthur brand. Turn mixer to low and add 2 grams of instant dry yeast, 11 grams of salt, and 11 grams of sugar. To your bowl, add 225 grams of water and 45 grams of olive oil. Mix until a shaggy dough forms, about 1 to 2 minutes. Cover your bowl and let rest about 10 minutes. Turn your mixer back on and mix until the dough is smooth for about 5 to 10 more minutes. If you're doing this by hand, it's going to take a little longer. Grab your scale and weigh your dough out into 3 even portions. They're going to weigh about 240 grams. Form them into dough balls and place into a proofing container. Add a small coat of olive oil to the tops of your dough ball. Cover and rest in the fridge for 3 to 5 days. Okay, our dough has been cold fermenting in the fridge for 4 days. We're going to take it out and dust it in semolina flour. If you don't have semolina flour, you can just order it on Amazon. Good amount of this. And we're going to roll this dough out with a rolling pin. You could use a wine bottle too if you don't have a rolling pin. You want a 14-inch round here. And I took this dough straight out of the fridge in the morning and I rolled it out. And now we're gonna do what's called a curing process. And Pat's Pizzeria in Chicago started this. They've been doing it a long time with their thin crust. And the curing process, you just let it sit out and dry out the rest of the day. And then at supper time, it will be dried out and ready to make pizza. So I'll show you what that looks like now too. You're gonna grab a piece of parchment paper. And you're just going to set your pizza dough on your parchment paper and let that sit until it dries out. Like I said, I'm gonna be making pizza tonight, so it's gonna sit out like 8 to 10 hours, which will be fine for drying it out. We're just gonna let it sit uncovered. We're gonna make our fennel sausage now, and after you have this sausage, you're not gonna wanna try any other sausages. This is the sausage recipe for pizza. It's amazing, it turns out great. Just don't overdo the fennel. It can really make your sausage very aromatic. So to start, we're gonna start with 1.5 pounds of ground pork. Okay. And then we're gonna add some spices to it. Set your oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And we are going to start by toasting 1.5 tablespoons of some fennel seeds. Toast this at 250 for about 10 minutes until it starts to turn brown. Fennel seeds are toasted and they go right into the mortar and pestle. If you don't have one of these, you can use a bag and you can break it up with like a bottle, or if you have a meat tenderizer, you can do that too, but it all works kind of the same. So just grind this up until it's a powder. And that's gonna be about like that. And 3 cloves of garlic. We're going to press these. Slice the top. Then to get our garlic out easy, you can smash it. We're gonna go with a tablespoon of garlic powder. About 3/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. A tablespoon of kosher salt. A tablespoon of dried oregano. A generous pinch of red pepper flakes. And get right in there with your hand and make sure it's well mixed. Alright, we're gonna cover that and put it in a fridge till it's time to make a pizza. Okay, we rolled the crust out in the morning, and now it's really nice and firm and dry now. Now it's gonna make an awesome crispy pizza. So what we're gonna do now is, this is going to be our base, so we need to flip the pizza upside down and we'll put it on our board. First we're gonna lightly dust our pizza peel in semolina. If you don't have semolina, cornmeal works too. And we are going to do a Chicago thin crust classic today. We're gonna do a sausage and hot giardiniera. I made my own giardiniera. You can just buy it in the store too. All right, so we're gonna flip it over, and there we go. Start with sauce. I made a short of my sauce. You can check that out. It's just a simple pizza sauce. That's what I'm using in this. This isn't traditional, but I like it. I'm gonna do some pecorino on top of the sauce. Then at Vito and Nick's, they do a light layer of mozzarella on the bottom. Pretty light because we're gonna do more on top. Go about like that. Now our sausage, you're just gonna grab this by your hand, it is raw. And it's gonna cook in the oven. And smush that down into the pizza. Now our hot giardiniera. Then more cheese. I do have a blend of whole milk and part skim mozzarella. Vito and Nick's uses all part skim, but I like the flavor of whole milk, so I went about 50-50 on that. I've had the oven preheating at 500 degrees for about 45 minutes to get that stone up to temp. This pizza is gonna take about 10 minutes to bake. Check this thing out. It's got the brown edges. This thing took about 12 minutes to cook. Looking so good. It smells so good. Okay, let's cut this thing. Square cut. And look, I don't care how you slice the pizza as long as the pizza's in your mouth. Moment of truth. I'm gonna go with this inside piece here. It's still pretty hot. It smells so good. It's kind of vinegary from the giardiniera. And let me show you this base quick. It's thin, and then the edge is charred a little bit, but that's all flavor. It's delicious. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. It's so thin, like a cracker. If you like thin crust pizza, this is the pizza for you for sure. I could eat this whole pizza. You really have to try this one. It is so good. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hit 200 subscribers not that long ago. The channel's rolling, and I hope it continues.